Hello, my name is Dasz of Dasz Instruments from Vancouver, Canada. We'd like to introduce you to our first product. It is the Alex synthesizer. Alex is a scalable synthesizer and sequencing platform based upon modules. The system starts off with a main module. It's a starter module, and that contains your inputs, outputs, MIDI storage. With the starter module, you get 4 instrument tracks that are accessible with these buttons above the screen. Each instrument track contains an instrument, or each synthesizer track contains an instrument, which can be a model, either a VA, a sampler, or external control synth type. On this first track, we have the bass drum model. On the second one, we have a snare model. And on the third one, I believe, have a VA model. These are very early preliminary models that we've started to develop as our OS is taking shape. And the last one is a external synthesizer module controlling the miniature. So each of these tracks contains a mixer, which is basically the volume and panning for that particular track. Effects, which in this case there is no effects on this track, but another effect is available on track 3, which is reverb. It's just a very basic reverb right now. There's going to be a looper on every track as well that lets you record and play back samples. Samples which you can use as backing tracks, or you can be improvising and building loops with those samples. And at the very end, a sequencer. This is right now just a monophonic step sequencer, 16 patterns, or 16 steps, and 1 pattern. This system, for every track and every part of every track, we have presets. So in the case of sequencer, you can load different patterns, and in the case of an instrument, you're changing the parameter values. And I can give you a quick little demo of what it can do. It's got the main module has your master transports, so we can hit play, which is now playing with the bass drum is our model bass drum. I can play a sample. I'm going to go to track 2 and unmute it. This is the sample from our website. And now we're going to go control this instrument. So this is just MIDI control. And let's go edit the sequence. And you can select the next or previous 8 steps. Now this is a very early operating system in terms of the system behaving as a whole. We just recently got the units connected, and the software is coming online as we speak. The sequencers will actually, on a larger unit, they scale up, they take over more of the user interfaces of neighboring devices and their screens as well, which allows you, when it comes to sequencing, allows you to actually have a longer or bigger control surface for your step editing. So if you have the unit if you have the largest configuration, which is the 4 module unit that has 16 tracks, not only do you get 16 tracks, but you have a really large panel that models that are on individual tracks can be mapped to. So sequencers can span all 4 screens, and so could user interfaces. I'll just do a quick visual simulation. You could have your oscillators on the first screen. I will just pick you could have your filters on the second screen and the controls bound to them, your amplifier, and let's pick an LFO on the last screen. And this is what a spanning editor would look like for an instrument. Our coloring right now, the screen is just monochrome, but it's actually a color TFT capable of millions of colors. We chose a large screen because we want everything to be very easy to read, and we want to be able to add more features and really utilize these displays. So I've given you a brief demo of the instrument tracks. Now, sonically speaking, what you're hearing is actually just one module producing the music, and it's using the onboard processor, just doing the onboard DSP. We have an expansion slot built into the unit and into each module. So every module has this, and it's a DSP card, and every module also has an expansion around the back. I will just show you on this one here. 1 second. So around the back, you see there's a bunch of inputs. This is a 4 input and 4 output expansion board. It won't come. It'll be sold separately, and this allows instruments from the outside world to come into the system. And you can add these to every module in your system. So the system that has 4 modules, the 16-track system, which has a main and 3 add modules, could be expanded to have up to 4 of these expansion cards, meaning you can actually have 16 inputs, just like you would on a mixer. The outputs are audio outputs, so you can have direct outs. You can use them as send and returns, basically adding external processing and mixing it all down into this one environment, the Alex mixing environment. And on top of that, the outputs on this card are also control voltage capable. Oh, thank you. So the 4 outputs are capable of high sampling rate audio, but then they can also do audio rate CV modulation. So that making them a really great, very flexible source of modulation based on internal modulators. So you could be sending filter out, but have a number of different modulators contributing to that filter signal that's coming out. The popping is just the operating system saying hi, because it's the fact everything is together is still very new. So as I mentioned, the tracks have presets in every track part, including the sequencers. And if you want to go into and create an arrangement, because this may be a little bit slow to change presets on every track, we have scenes which capture a snapshot of all the parameters on the various tracks, and you can save and recall them very quickly. We can't demo that yet, but demos will be coming. We have also automation, which we cannot demo at this point either, but it's basically allowing parameter modulation over time, and a number of other features, which again we cannot show at this point. All of these signals, all these units are actually connected together with a very special connector. It's our module link. It adds connectivity, direct connectivity between these units, making them at least behave like one system. Their signals can get passed around from any unit to any unit at incredibly fast speed. It's pretty much zero latency, and you're able to mix and have a lot of external inputs and have a very little latency as a result of that. All of these get mixed into what we call a main track, which we don't have visualizing now, but that main track is handling the main outputs of the system. And the synthesizer also has an auxiliary out, which is also a headphone out, which Chris here will show. It's this one here. It's for your headphones. It can double as just another copy of the main outs, or it's also a dedicated bus, so you can pre-listen to some of your tracks as you're preparing them to go live in a live situation, or just as another set of outputs. There's still a lot of features to be put into the operating system, and we're going to be developing this for months to come. Price hasn't been set yet, but the units are going to be, the modules are going to be quite affordable, and the upgrading them via the add modules is also going to be very affordable. So although a 16-track system is not going to be cheap, you actually have a number of ways of achieving that. You can buy 1, 2, 3, or 4 modules from the start, and then add additional modules as you see fit, as your needs grow, or as you desire to have a larger control surface. For more information, you can visit us at daz.com. That's DASZ.com. On our website, we have a subscription page, and where you can subscribe to get all the latest news and all the updates we'll be posting as our development of this product continues, and until we basically reach the point at which we can start selling. We'll also announce it all there. We're looking forward to that being this year, and we're very excited to finally be able to show it to everybody. Thank you very much. I'm Daz from Daz.com.